This time I am going to explain a movie called Miracle in Cell Number 7, released in 2013. Spoiler is on the way. Yi-seung, who is 6 years old, with her mentally sick father, Yong-gu, outside a shop. The father-daughter duo is seen repeating the steps of a Sailor Moon animated advertisement. Yi-seung then requests her father to buy the final piece of the Sailor Moon bag present at the store for her. Yong-gu tells her that once he gets the payment the next day, he would buy the bag for her. However, another customer purchases the very last bag available in the store at the exact time. Yong-gu enters the shop acting childishly and requests that the shop owner give them the bag because they had been seeking it for a long time. The customer appears to be a police commissioner, and he slaps Yong-gu after he tries to get the bag from his daughter, Choi. In the following scene, we witness Yi-seung taking command and parenting her father as best she can as a 6-year-old girl. They have a specific goodbye ritual in which Yi-seung counts to 3 and Yong-gu turns around for them both to make their most ridiculous faces. Choi, the commissioner's daughter, finds Yong-gu the next day after work and attempts to show him another store that sells the same backpack. Choi instructs Yong-gu to accompany her to the store. However, the small girl stumbles while running on the icy pavement, and a brick lands on her head. Yong-gu spots the unconscious girl and immediately tries to perform CPR on her. He also pulls down her trousers for proper blood circulation. However, a bystander witnesses all this and mistakenly takes it as an act of sexual assault. Yong-gu is then arrested by the police on charges of rape and murder. Yong-gu is next seen at a police station, where detectives are attempting to question him about the event. However, he is constantly claiming that his daughter Yi-seung is waiting for him alone at home. When he tries to return to his house, he is attacked by police officers, who are photographed by the media. The officers then make a false claim that the deranged Yong-gu attacked them first. The next morning, Yi-seung leaves the house to look for her father. Yong-gu is also transported to the same location where the event occurred for a site check. There, the officers make him do a false reenactment in exchange for meeting his daughter. His actions are interpreted by police officers as rape and murder of a minor. When Yi-seung sees her father being carried away by cops, she runs over to him. However, one of the police officers grabs her and they are unable to meet with one another. Yong-gu is then transported to prison, where he is placed in cell number 7 with 5 other convicts. His 5 inmates are Bong-shik, arrested for pickpocketing, Chun-ho and Grandpa, arrested for fraud, Man-bam arrested for adultery, and Yong-ho, arrested for involvement in smuggling and gangster business. All the prisoners dislike him for his falsely accused crime and mental disability. They start beating him up. However, they soon become very touched after finding out that he is going to be executed soon. In the prison, there also lies another gang which is planning to attack the prison leader, Yong-ho. One day, Yong-gu notices the opposition gang ready to attack Yong-ho and runs to protect him. He manages to save Yong-ho from being stabbed. Hence, Yong-ho offers to help Yong-gu in any way he can to return the favor. Yong-gu tells Yong-ho that he wants to see his daughter Yi-seung. In the next scene, we can see a church's choir band singing the choirs for the inmates. In the choir, Yi-seung is also seen dancing and playing an instrument. The warden is taken aback to see the kids in the prison choir. But before he can learn more, he receives a call from the minister and is forced to leave the event. Sensing the opportunity, Man-bam takes Yi-seung from the stage and places her in a box before transporting her to the prison to see her father. The convicts are successful in bringing Yi-seung into the jail and reconciling her with her father. The father-daughter duo finally meets, and they embrace each other. Meanwhile, Yong-gu keeps on saying to his daughter that he is not a bad person. Next, the little girl is introduced to her father's cellmates, and then it's time for her to return. However, Yi-seung does not want to return home and rather wishes to remain in prison with her father. She also claims that she is an expert at hiding. Man-bam, on the other hand, manages to calm her down and confine her to a box in order to return to the choir's bus. But, before he can get there, the bus leaves the prison gates, forcing Man-bam to return Yi-seung to the jail. Inside the jail, the other inmates are concerned that if they are caught, their sentences would be extended. One day, while performing the cleaning duties, they devise a plan to transport the girl outside the prison when another group arrives to perform. One day, the warden receives the photos from the choir event and discovers one of the children missing. To find the missing girl, he sends his men to examine all the jail chambers. Despite their best efforts, the young girl is discovered by the warden and brought to the childcare center, while Yong-gu is confined in a separate room as a punishment. The same night, one of the inmates sets a fire in his cell, pleading with the guards to let him meet his father. He pays no attention to anyone and continues to pour gasoline on the flames. The chief warden approaches him and attempts to stop him, but finds himself locked inside a burning chamber. All the other inmates have been released. On his way out, Yong-gu observes the chief warden among the flames. Seeing him in this condition, Yong-gu endangers himself and rushes to save him. In the next scene, the chief warden wakes up in a hospital room, where he is told by the doctor that Yong-gu risked his life to rescue him. The chief warden looks over to Yong-gu, who is hurt and lying next to him. Meanwhile, Yi-seung meets her choir instructor and convinces her to take her to meet her father. The kind choir instructor accepts her request and drives her to the prison. As the father and daughter duo reunite again, the warden is keeping a close eye on them. Later that night, the warden starts to dig into Yong-gu's case. He starts to suspect that Yong-gu is innocent and that his case is fabricated. Later, the warden pays a visit to the investigation office and speaks with one of his colleagues about Yong-gu's case. The colleague informs him that the case was of a police commissioner's daughter, and they had to rush to make a verdict. After looking into the case file, the warden also finds out that Yong-gu's testimony is falsified. Seeing the injustice that Yong-gu has been through, the warden lets Yi-sung visit Yong-gu every day after school. There, she becomes attached to all the cellmates. She even teaches them to write. When Bong-shik expresses his disappointment at not being able to communicate with his pregnant wife, Yi-sung lends him a mobile phone that she took from one of her friends. The next morning, one of the wardens rushes towards Yong-gu, informing him that his trial is nearing. After hearing this, all his cellmates resolve to prepare him for the trial and establish his innocence in the court. They want an explanation from Yong-gu on the entire incident. Yong-gu claims that he was just following the young girl and suddenly he saw her on the floor, bleeding from her head. The cellmates are perplexed as to how somebody might die from falling while running. They recreate the entire situation and conclude that the girl died after slipping on the icy floor and being struck in the head by a brick. Before the trial, Yong-gu is instructed by his imprisoned companions on how to respond to the prosecution's potential questions, and he diligently practices and becomes excellent in answering the questions presented by his roommates. The inmates remind Yong-gu to rehearse the answers to the prospective inquiries everywhere he goes. Meanwhile, a national lawyer visits Yong-gu in prison and threatens him to confess about the killing. He goes on to say that the police commissioner is a powerful figure who may ruin his daughter's life if he refuses to confess. To show Yong-gu's innocence, Yi-sung, the jail warden, and the prisoners of Room 7 all attend his trial. Unfortunately, the commissioner visits Yong-gu before the trial where he brutally assaults him, while threatening to kill his daughter unless he confesses. To protect his daughter, Yong-gu makes the ultimate sacrifice by claiming that he killed the commissioner's daughter. On December 23rd, Yong-gu is condemned to death, which also happens to be Yi-sung's birthday. The inmates, feeling sorry for Yong-gu, decide to build a hot air balloon as part of their grand scheme to free him. During a prison function, Yong-gu and Yi-sung are sent on the hot air balloon, and they effortlessly try to stop the guards from arresting Yong-gu, but the balloon's line is caught by barbed wire. Instead of being sad, they use this moment to feel the setting sun for one last time. Back inside the cell, the inmates celebrate Yi-sung's birthday before Yong-gu is executed. Everyone gives the little girl a lovely gift and Yong-gu surprises her with the yellow Sailor Moon backpack that she always wanted. Overjoyed with the gift, Yi-sung bows down and thanks Yong-gu for being her father. However, the celebrations are soon cut short as the executor calls Yong-gu. The cellmates are devastated, but they hide their tears and lie to Yi-sung that their father is being transported to a different cell. Before being escorted away, Yong-gu hugs his daughter and starts crying. As his daughter also starts crying, Yong-gu pleads with the guards that he doesn't want to be separated from his daughter, but they are powerless to help him. After a while, Yong-gu is executed because of the false accusations. In the present, an adult Yi-sung, who is now adopted by the warden, studies hard to become a lawyer and appeals for the case. The scene shifts with a girl requesting records related to the Lee Yong-gu kidnapping and murder case, which occurred in 1997. She then exits the prison after receiving the paperwork and finds a balloon hovering overhead. She comes to a halt in front of the balloon, which has been tangled in the barbed wire fence. The scene moves to a court hearing, where the same case from 1997 is being trialed for the second time. Yi-sung is doing the case's defense and asking for the re-investigation of all the evidence submitted to the court. The opposition lawyer asks her if she was present when the incident occurred. Yi-sung then replies she did not witness the incident, but she was there looking the whole investigation happening. With the help of the inmate's testimony and public support, Yong-gu is found to be innocent and hence he is exonerated from the sentence. The movie shifts to a scene where Yi-sung then has a vision of Yong-gu and her younger self waving farewell to her from a hot air balloon. As the balloon soars away into the sky, she cries a sorrowful goodbye to her father. Thanks for watching. Bye.